Well, we did it. We have hit 1,000 subscribers, so we're doing another giveaway to say thank you to all you guys that have helped us get to this point. We're going to be giving away the new Blood Angels Army set box. If you guys have already heard this, feel free to skip ahead, but if you haven't and you want to be entered into this giveaway, then here's how to do it. You will have to leave a comment on any video that we release between September 17th, 2024 at 12 p.m. Eastern Time and September 24th, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. The other way that you can enter is by subscribing to the channel between that same time frame. You can only enter once, and the entire giveaway from top to bottom is sponsored by me and me alone, has no affiliation with YouTube or any of its subsidiaries, and the winner will be selected at 12 a.m. on September 25th. There will be a giveaway announcement video posted within 1 week of the giveaway, which will include instructions for the winner on how to claim their prize and verify their authenticity, and the deadline to do so, and the information collected about the winner, which will just be their YouTube username that is publicly visible. It will only be used as a means of contact so that we can get you your prize. So thanks again so much, guys and gals, and good luck in the giveaway. Welcome, dear viewer, to Theory Hammer. I am the legendary creature Kevbot, and today, I thought it would be fun to take a deeper look into some of the orc units with today's episode going over the Gargantuan Squiggoth. If you guys like these unit breakdowns, then power claw the like button, the subscribe button, Nurgle's bell icon, leave us a comment, check out our other videos, do all that stuff. And before we get into the theory hammering, I will mention that we are starting a second channel, which is linked in the description. There we will have like Let's Plays for 40k games, podcasts, just generally less structured stuff. So if you want to join, feel free. The promotion's over, we did it, gold star. Okay, so here we are today to talk about the Gargantuan Squiggoth. This thing is a monster, dude. Literally. It has the monster keyword. But it's also a monster on the table, and it's 440 points for this thing. And just take a look at that stat line, baby. Toughness 13, 30 wounds, moves 10 inches, can move over terrain that's 4 inches or less in height, can shoot though it's in combat as if it weren't in combat, whatever, that's fine. But my god, now unlike some of my other unit breakdowns, there's not a whole lot of things you can do to buff this thing up anymore. You used to be able to use Ard as nails on it, which made it -1 to be wounded. So yeah, toughness 13 at 30 wounds and -1 to be wounded is completely fine. Definitely didn't need to be changed. But yeah, you can't do that anymore. However, I would argue that for 440 points, you still get something that is an absolute monster. And this thing is probably best in the Warhorde just because it gets abilities basically. In the Warhorde, you get sustained hits in it, like with combat, which is cool. And we do have a strat or two that can be useful on it. So we're 440 points, we got toughness 13, we got 30 wounds, fine. But we also have the Wah, which gives us a 5-up invuln, an extra attack, and advance and charge. And this thing has firing deck 20, so you could theory hammeretically put 20 flash kits inside of it. And the funny thing about that is it does not suffer the penalty to its hit rolls if it's in combat, so they can all just shoot and be at the normal ballistic skill, which is pretty funny. You can just dump out 60 shots from this thing at strength 6, AP 1, and 2 damage, with sustained hits by the way, so that's like automatically 10 extra hits, so you get like 30 fucking hits with those if you put a bunch of flash kits inside this thing. And one of the good strats that you can use on this thing is that we can have it fight on death if we really want. It can then get criticals on 5s if you use the strat, which is really good on its sweep profile because that shit is 18 attacks, which is 19 with the WOG, at strength 9, AP 2, and 3 damage flat. So that's going to be 18 hits with crits on 5s. And I forgot about its regular attacks. I didn't even go over its melee yet. But its strike attack, you ready for this? It's strength 14, AP 3, and 12 fucking damage with Lance. So it wounds basically everything in the game except like the Avatar on 2s. And it wounds the Avatars on 3s. Can it even kill the Avatar? Probably. It's got 7 attacks with when it charges with WOG. Hits on 3s, but it's got sustained on 5, so it's going to be 7 hits. We're wounding on 3s, so we wound with like 4.5 of them. It fails half of them on its invuln, so it takes like 2 1/3 wounds, and each one of those is 6 damage, so That's like exactly 14 wounds. Yeah. No fate dice being included there, which isn't realistic, but yeah. The Avatar basically gets one-shotted by this thing, so that's pretty cool. Can we kill a Catan? 7 attacks. Wounding on 2s. That's about 6 wounds. Half of those get through, so we're doing about, 3 of them will get through. They each get halved, so we do about 18 wounds. That's about enough to kill it, because it has a Feel No Pain of 5 up, and only 12 wounds, so that should take one out, yeah. Can we kill Magnus? It's got 7 attacks, so it's going to get 7 hits. It's going to wound with like 6. Magnus will fail half of those. He rerolls 2 of them from a CP and a Cabal, so he makes another one from that, so 2 get through. He blanks 1 of them, and he takes 12. Well, 11, because minus 1 damage. But, so, meh, okay, fine. I don't know why I didn't add any of that extra fate dice and that kind of stuff in with the Avatar, but whatever. He would definitely live if he had fate dice. So here is just a general view of how much damage this thing can cause in combat with its sustained 5s. Anything that it's wounding on 3s and that's getting a 4-up invuln, so something that's minus 1 to be wounded, like the Avatar, without fate dice here, you do like 28 damage to it. If it is the Avatar itself, you do about 14. Does about half there. If you're attacking some sort of unit with models in it, that for some reason you're wounding on 3s, even though you have Lance, you'll kill about 2 of them. If you're wounding something on 3s and they're getting a 5-up save, 5-up invuln, 5-up something, you'll do like 37 damage to it or kill like 3 models. I'm not even sure what this would be. Like, it would need to be toughness 8 with minus 1 to be wound and have a 2-up save or a 5-up invuln. Not really sure. And again, if you're wounding on 3s and they're getting a 6-up save, I don't know what it would be, because it would need to be toughness 8 or more with minus 1 to be wound and have like a 3-up save or a 6-up invuln. But either way, yeah, you do 47 damage to that target, or you kill like 4 models. Now, more realistically, if you're wounding something on 2s and it's getting a 4-up save, which is going to be the best it's going to get because of Armor of Contempt and 2-up, you do 35 wounds to that thing. So a Land Raider, a Lancer Knight, some big thing, take 35 wounds, or if you're attacking some sort of unit that has a 4-up invuln, you'll kill 3 models with that. If you're attacking something with a 5-up invuln, so like a Leman Russ, right? This thing, actually, during the WOG, you'll do 47 wounds to it or kill about 4 models. If you're going after a Hammerhead or any tank that would like normally have a 3-up save or a 6-up invuln, you do like 60 fucking damage, dude. You do 58 damage, or you kill about 5 models, let's say. If you really want to kill models, though, you're going to want to go with its sweep profile, because anything that it wounds on 3s, even if they're getting a 3-up save, so in this case, Terminators, you'll do 13 damage to a single target, or you'll kill about 4 models with that. If you're wounding something on 3s, like Custodes, but they're getting a 4-up invuln, so they don't have access to Armor of Contempt, or some sort of vehicle thing with that sort of same profile there, you will do 19 damage, or you'll just straight kill a whole unit of Custodes, kill 6 of them. If you're going after something like Aggressors with Armor Contempt up, or some other single unit, you'll do 25 damage, or you'll kill 8 or 9 Aggressors. If you're going after Votan Bikes, you'll kill 2 units of them and kill 10 to 11 models, or 32 damage if there is some target that applies there. If you're wounding on 2s, you'll do about 16 damage if you're getting a 3-up save. So, Grey Knight Marines, I guess, with Armor of Contempt, you'll kill about 5 models in that case. Wounding on 2s with a 4-up save, you'll kill about 8 models, so like a sister squad with an Imagifier, I guess. Or you'll do 24 damage to a single target. And you can basically just ignore the single damage at this point. But if you're going after something with a 5-up invuln, so like a Cursed Cultist or something like that, you'll kill 10 to 11 of them. If you're going after Guardsmen, you'll kill about 13. And so this thing can just kill stuff. It'll kill 4 to 5 Terminators with its sweep if you do crits on 5s and they use Armor of Contempt. It's not great, but still, like, it kills half the unit, like, it kills half of one of the more durable units in the game in 1 round of combat. So, let's just summarize this nonsense. Its toughness 13, has 30 wounds, it can get a 5-up invuln during the WOG, it can advance and charge during the WOG, and it moves 10 inches, and it can move over things that are 4 inches or less in height. Has 7 attacks, strength 14, AP 3, 12 damage, lance, or 19 attacks at strength 9, AP 2, 3 damage. Crits on 5 if you need it. Fights on death if you need it. And that's one goddamn scary fights on death. And will always, 100% of the time, be worth that extra CP cost. It costs 2 because it just happens. Like all fight on death strats are either a 4-up for 1 CP, but maybe with a caveat for +1 somehow, or it just automatically happens for 2 CP. This one automatically happens for 2 CP, and you can just use it on any unit. This thing has a transport capacity of 20 and a firing deck of 20. It's only 440 points. Just an absolute squig cake, right? That's supposed to be like beefcake, but orc. It was a great joke, I know. But like, let's explore the transport thing a bit more, because like I said, you pop 20 fuckers into this thing, and they can all shoot out. Unfortunately, it is a monster and not a vehicle, so you can't give it +1 to hit. But I think what you get for losing the ability to get +1 to hit is fine. First, if we're comparing it to a battle wagon without a top, that also has firing deck 20, there's just no comparison. That thing's half the wounds than this thing is. That thing's toughness 10. It sucks in combat, mostly. And that thing is a pain in the ass to move around and pivot and just fuck all that. The only saving grace with that thing, and that thing is a good unit, is that it's only 160 points, which is why it's a good unit. And then even with a 120 point thing, it's just a box you put guys inside. It's still nice to have that sometimes. The Gargantuan Squiggoth, though, it's more than that. It's not just like this durable thing that has twice as many wounds, this more durable thing, significantly more durable thing that has twice as many wounds. It can also move over smaller parts of the terrain, so it's more maneuverable, frankly, and beyond that, it's just fucking scary. It just kills shit. It could be advancing and charging this turn, it could be right in your face. Oh, and it is also OC 12, and it's fucking gigantic, so, like, it can literally cover an objective. Like, not actually, but pretty much. And come to think of it, do you guys know the ruling on giving models like this a base? Is that legal? Because I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually come with one. If it is legal, though, you have to give it a base. Like, you must give it a base, because then models can't actually be underneath it at all, where they could, like, potentially now. And I'm not advocating for that if it would be, like, modeling to advantage, which the more I talk, the more it sounds like it is. But if it's not, put a base on it. It literally covers an objective if it has a base. But my god, what a horrifying thing to fight. And then you want to stick 20 flash kits inside. This thing with 20 flash kits, 760 points. And it's like any other gigantic thing. It's going to start outside of terrain so you can't see it. It moves up, it touches terrain. It shoots you with 60 strength 6 AP1 2 damage shots. It also has 2d6 shots of strength 12 AP2 and 3 damage with its cannon thing. But yeah, it probably survives your shooting. The guys get out, they proc their once a game thing to shoot like 4 times with lethal hits and sustained. And then they charge, and each of them has 5 attacks at strength 6 AP1 1 damage if you wogged that turn. Bro, that's 50 attacks per unit of flash kits, and 2 of them just got out of this thing. So for actual less points than a single Stampa with nothing inside and no mech, you can get 2 units of flash kits and a Gargantuan Squiggoth. And unlike a Stampa, you don't really need strats to make this thing good. It kind of just is good. When you stick boys inside, now it actually shoots really hard. Not quite like a Stampa can, but with a lot more shots that are effective against infantry and other softer targets, and the Squiggoth himself can deal with the hard targets. 12 damage in combat with 7 attacks, like, get out of here. And that's probably not even the best thing you can do with this, although it's just the best thing that comes to mind off the top of my head. You could put like 20 Ludas in there instead, but they hit on 6s, so nah. But maybe, but probably just no. You probably just go with the flash kits, and then you take 1,200 points of other orc shit, like trucks with guys inside, Squighog guys, storm boys. You're in war horde, so you just take the good units that can all benefit from sustained hits, like the strats you have, the enhancements that war horde gives you access to, all that stuff. Now, I know I've worked you all up and you want to go out and buy a Gargantuan Squiggoth, and I have good news for you. The Orc Codex came out already, and as we all know, this thing hasn't been legended yet. So if you want to get one, you'll definitely have time to use it before it goes away, or comes to plastic maybe. Please God, give it a plastic kit, and keep it good. But this thing's just a massive, massive bully. It's a big fat bully. It's a bully boy, you could say. Takes 40 Melta shots to kill this thing, in Melta range. It takes 45 las cannon shots. Takes 135 autocannon shots. Like, you'd need something with +1 to hit, and +1 to wound, and reroll hits, and reroll wounds, and like all that to kill this thing. In fact, if I shot Vahl and her unit, can I kill this thing? There's a lot of things out there that can stack +1 to hit and wound, but there's not a lot of things that can do both. And there are some things that can definitely get it done, but it's rare. Like, you're talking other super units, like Sword Brethren with Helbrecht. They'll probably get it done. You probably only need 5 there. But if you do shoot Vahl at this thing, you get like 6 hits probably, just because reroll hits at +1. You get like 4.5 wounds, so 3 of those-ish will go through because I got a 5-up invuln, but even with like max damage, you only do 24 wounds, which isn't realistic. More than likely, it'll be like max from a single miracle dice, and then like a 2 and a 4, and so you'll do like 6 and 4, and then you'll do like 18 total. And so at that point, the other guns that you do have in the unit, they're just not going to get it done. You could likely get it done in combat if they had to, because Vahl can do like 13 wounds by herself with miracle dice. Maybe I'll try to link that video down below. But they can probably get it done, but they are just another super unit as well. But if they have to do that, if they gotta charge in to kill this thing, it's just gonna fight on death and kills like most or the entire unit in return. And then the dudes get out, they fuckface next turn, that unit gets 20 hits when it pops off, like if they get out and shoot with their extra shots. That's not including the lethals that they get, which is like 6 to 7, and then they get 50 attacks on the charge. Like, I know this video isn't about flash kits, but damn, they are good. Maybe I'll make a video on them. And so overall, just stellar unit. Beefy, it's a transport, it's not impossible to move around because it just ignores a lot of stuff. It benefits from strats, it gores you into orbit, and it explodes 2d6 because hilarious. It can just put so much pressure somewhere, and even when you do crack it, you can have 20 guys that are actually good at shooting and combat jump out of it. And it can just tank so much firepower because of that extra toughness and the extra wounds that it comes with. It's 440 points, my dear theorists. That's 10 points more than a Lancer, and it's arguably harder to kill than a Lancer, and I would argue that it's harder to kill, that a Lancer is easier to kill. It also transports stuff, and it definitely hits harder in combat. It has more attacks, it's hitting on 3s with sustained, but it wounds on 2s with everything and does 50% more damage on each hit that gets through. And like, there's a non-zero chance a Lancer doesn't even kill this thing on a charge with its tank shock. Its tank shock maxes at 8, so if you like miss with one of your attacks and you fail to wound with one of your other attacks, and I make one of my invulns on those 3 wounds that you make me take, I take another 16, which in total is going to be 24, and I'm still alive. But who am I kidding? You definitely would have shot at it first, and you would take it out in combat at that point, but it's just to demonstrate how durable it is. So that's going to do it. I hope you guys liked this deeper dive into the Gargantuan Squiggoth and some of the things that I think it works well with and some of the stuff you can do with it, like putting guys inside. If you did, crump the like button, the subscribe button, hit Nurgle's bell, leave a comment, check out the other videos. You know all the stuff. Do all the stuff. I'll give you extra gubbins in the next video. So thanks for watching, boys. I'll snag you in the next episode. And that means I'll catch you in it. You guys get it.